Hello everyone, it's another Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Obi Ajulo Olabisi Ubu, and with me are the ladies. Hello Mariam.
Hi.
Excellent morning.
Good morning.
What's up?
Nothing much, just grateful for life and, looking forward to enjoying the rest of our week.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. And then it's really interesting to see what Mariah's been up to. She met with YK yesterday.
Yes,
that must have been so much fun for them. Yeah. So I'm just so happy that she's getting the much needed rest that she deserves.
I hope she's resting. No, she said she wants to take an extra 1 week. I've warned her. She has to come back because me, I'm going. But how has been the book tour?
Oh, the school reading's going on well. I had one yesterday as well. Lovely, well amazing. I always love that energy. I love to do the book reading just for the book reading's sake.
Yeah.
I'm meeting the kids and having them ask me so many questions about Vouchers, about the book. So yes, it's truly a privilege to be able to do this.
It is. Well done. Nima, how you doing today?
I'm fine. Post all the partying. Yes, we couldn't go out for dinner, so Nima I didn't cook this year. I put together dinner. And so we had a candlelight dinner, my kids.
You ordered the food. Tell us the truth.
I didn't order it. It was a gift from Classic Meals. Yes, so Classic Meals wanted me to have my birthday here, and you guys left. So I had excess food.
No, I was
cancelled my
open it for me.
order. You didn't let me do the shooting. So I had to go home with the food and with the rest of the food. Because we had a mini party here. Okay. And then excess food, so I just use that.
You said there was something you just breezed over. You said candle lit.
Yes, I put on candles. I did that on my anniversary, yes. I did.
This is surprising.
No, I've always been
romantic.
Do what you can. Person. So I love dinners, but my husband doesn't have to spend his entire savings at it. We don't have to go out. So you can set it up, have fun in your house. What is important is the moment and the family, people present. So it was me, husband, children.
That's enough.
So that's all that I need for my party, and it was fun. I must say thank you to everybody, including the ladies of Your View, for donating to the Cancer Foundation. I'm very, very on the 500,000 bench already. And I'm so impressed because that would treat at least one child through to chemo. And I'm still looking to donors to the end of August before I close the Nima Gift of Love chapter, and then we'll start another. But I'm so impressed by it. Today was supposed to be for the launch, but the two winners I chose, I reached out to them and they said they couldn't make it for today. So we're moving it to next week, and I hope that the ladies can join us. It's at the spots.
You already
see.
I'm sure to eat. Tell them
don't worry, it's lunch. Don't worry, just trust me. You have not had this kind of lunch before.
Ganga.
Bet it. So we're going to have that lunch next week, inshallah. And I'm just grateful in the spirit of gratitude.
Yeah, so I have quite a lot on my table. The Evolve to Become More we did. A lot of people were not able to attend. We had people calling in from the US and the UK that they wanted to be a part of it. So we're putting up a virtual event from the 26th to the 28th of August. So people from all over the world can be a part of this one. So I haven't been posting because I've been posting for my mentorship, but I think I'll start today and talk about it so that more people can register to be a part of it. It's mind-blowing. So I'm going to be posting snippets of some of the classes we had, the different facilitators. And that's how we're going to do it. So hopefully we get a lot of people coming this time around online and do it.
That's a new way now.
Yeah, online. It is. It is. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll take the newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're starting with The Nation. NCDC confirms 15 monkeypox cases. Electricity workers set to battle TCN. Oshun Osiek chairman alleges threat to life. Commercial activities pick up in Southeast. 19.64% inflation rate, highest ever in 17 years, says NBS. Ayu to Wike, others. I have no plan to quit PDP chair now. Federal government not sincere about ending strike, says ASU. Yobe North senatorial ticket. Court adjourns Machina's suit against Lawan. What stories do we have in the nation?
I'll take the major headline. So the peace talks between the presidential candidates of PDP and Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, they said yesterday may have suffered a setback. According to the report, both teams were supposed to meet and have a conversation in Rivers State yesterday, but the Atiku team didn't show up for that meeting. And it was explained that he had to attend an event in Yola in Adamawa State. But the River State team, the Wike's team, said they were not even given prior notice of their absence, nothing. And that for them, this just shows that they have they're not committed really to solving the issues, between them. So the chairman of the party, one of the conditions they said that Wike had given that he would support the candidacy of Atiku Abubakar is if the chairman were to resign. The chairman says, let me tell you, I have been given the mandate to do 4 years. Wow. And I'll make sure I do my 4 years. I have no plans of resigning anytime soon. And they said that Wike is basing his asking for his resignation because it was a prior arrangement that they had that if the presidential candidate should eventually emerge from the north, then Mr. Ayu was supposed to have resigned. But that's not happening anytime soon. So it looks like, there doesn't seem to be an agreement on the way forward. But, these are politicians. They sort of always find a way to sort themselves out.
They will find their way.
So the National Union of Electricity Employees have decided to go on strike. They said they want to picket the Transmission Company of Nigeria. According to the General Secretary of that body, NUE, Joe Ajero, he calls this a memo signed call for action. They are going to picket the TCN because they are protesting the alleged directive of the TCM board insisting that all principal members in acting capacity aspiring to the position of assistant general managers must appear for promotion interview. Yes, just because they say you people should show up for your promotional interview, they are going to picket the TCN over that. I don't see the logic in it. You're in a business or you're in an employment, it's okay to take an exam, to be reviewed. KPIs are in some settings standards for removal or promotion of people, but then they find this as a grouse that they must protest about. Also, they listed the stigmatization of staff from the office of the head of service of the Federation from working in other areas of power sector, and their refusal of the market operators to fund the payment of entitlements of former staff of the PHCN, that's the power holding company, has agreed in 2019. That is a ground that I understand, because some of these staff are still left without their entitlement. I think that they deserve what they ever worked for. But for the promotional interview,
an assessment for you to reject it, I think they are just a bit too small. So if you're working in a private organization, these are some of the things that you do to move on to the next level.
It's an abuse of your
exam, it's a form of assessment. You have your KPIs that you're supposed to be meeting, but once it comes to government, everybody, they just want to be moved. Just go.
We just might be suffering darkness for that reason. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. Yes. I agree with you. So let me take the ASU case. So according to the Academic Staff Union of Universities, they are saying that the government has not been sincere with negotiations. They said with almost their 6-month strike, they've been going back and forth. There are several committees that they have set up. There was a committee that was set up before this NIMI BRICS committee, and they will come up with their recommendations, and the government does not follow through. Now, government is making it seem as if wants to sort of blackmail them with salary, that their grouse is not just the salary, and they are going to fight this matter to the end, because it's something that is it's a sacrifice they're willing to make right now so that the university system of the country does not collapse. So government needs to stand up and tell us where their priorities lie. Government has to do something about it. They're also asking for to be allowed to be autonomous, saying that all over the world, universities are autonomous. They are not under the civil service of any country. Government needs to do something about this. Our children, our students, I call them children, have been at home. Let's move on to the Punch. Power Intervention Fund jumps to 2.9 trillion. Lassa fever, 165 killed. Awareness call rises. Federal government, ASU, meet today. Strike enters 183 days. Running mate, Wike accuses Rivers elders of gang up. Federal government warned against acute hunger Sierra Leonean crisis. Inflation hits 17-year all-time high. Nigerians to pay more for consumables. Nigeria going Zimbabwean way, nobody's doing anything, DG NAC. Politicians concerned about 2023 elections not dying economy, according to experts. Amoteco trains Ondo recruits, vows to tackle criminals. Police kill 5 kidnappers, abducted Redeemer student escapes. Man dies in motel after meeting online lover. End killings of innocent Nigerians, Afenifere tells Buhari. What do we have in the Punch?
Yes, so I have 2 stories. Let me quickly take the power intervention. So, according to the director of the Bureau of Public Enterprise, he said there's a fresh approval of 2.3 billion euro loan for the transmission and distribution arm of the electricity sector. And because of that new intervention, there's the entire fund, since 2013 that they privatized the discos, they've intervened, the federal government's intervention fund to them has gone from 2 trillion to 2.9 trillion because of this new intervention now. And that, you know, prior to that, there was a World Bank loan of 500 million, several breakdowns of all the interventions they've so far received. And the same sector workers think that it's okay to shut us into darkness for a strike. I'm just wondering.
So I've got police kill 5 kidnappers and an abductee Redeemer student escape. So first of all, here we got the report from the Edo State Police Command said that on Monday they were able to apprehend and kill in a gun duel 5 kidnappers. They said that because of the information and intelligence that the police command got, they were able to find this group of kidnappers that were operating in the Ugoshi Afebush Ibilo in the Akoko Edo local government area of the state. And when they got there, as I said, a gun duel, 5 of the kidnappers were killed. And the victim that they had kidnapped, his name is Mr. Innocent Achebe, a 38-year-old man, was rescued unhurt and has since reunited with his family. Fantastic news. Well done to the police in Edo State. In Ogun State, they said on Monday, a 17-year-old who was kidnapped, his name is Oluwatomiwa Akinlaja. He is a student of Redeemers University in Osun State. He was supposed to go meet his family at the Redeem camp for the just concluded convention. And on his way there, he was abducted. Intelligence helped police. They went there, and while they got there, they said he escaped when the police arrived. And so he also has since been reunited with his family. Thank God. Fantastic. In Oyo State, they said that this man, I don't know, he wrote to a school. He wrote a letter to a private university in Oyo town and told the management that he plans to abduct 3 students from the institution. Wow. And unless 10 million naira was given to him, he would carry on with, with the plan. And also had written to a bank in the community that he was coming to attack them. The police said with investigation, they found him. So at first when I read it, I said this will be someone who is not really, okay up there. But the police say that there's actually a syndicate that because they are so emboldened by their successes and just their greed, that now what they do is they write a letter ahead of time because they feel that they will get away with whatever it is they do. And then they get ransom paid even before they do anything. But luckily in this case, they were able to find this person and curb the threat. So it's also good to hear the stories of the successes of our policemen, and well done in this regard.
Well done to our policemen. They're trying. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we continue the newspaper reviews. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music and information. With our breakfast show Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bali and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast courtesy eSplash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communication story.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to
TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music and information. With our breakfast show Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bali and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast courtesy eSplash, and of course,
Heed Lamidi lost his life while lodging with his girlfriend at the City International Motel Council bus stop in Kotu area of Lagos State. So his lover, a 32-year-old, they met online and then they decided to meet up, to hang out in the hotel. So she came in from another state Saturday. By Sunday morning, she ran out of the hotel room screaming that something has happened to the man. So apparently while he was standing up to head to the bathroom, he slumped and they were able to call a doctor just around the hotel. The doctor came and certified him dead. So they've taken him to the mortuary. The woman has been arrested. The police is saying that they are going to carry out further investigation. However, the family of the man are saying they don't want any case. They just want the cops to be released to them, that they have no case against.
Do you know, I was asking earlier, so why do we have these sort of stories on the front page of it? Why is it important
so
if it was not foul play? I mean,
so the major headline, the Statistician General of the Federation and the Chief Executive Officer of the National Bureau of Statistics, Prince Semiu Adeniro, has released our Consumer Price Index, and it says that the Consumer Price Index for July 2022 has put our inflation rate at 19.64%, which shows an increase from the 18.60% of June. And this has put us at our highest inflation rate in recent years, in 17 years.
Wow.
And he also used this opportunity to warn against acute hunger. And a lot of economists are reacting to this. I wanted to quote someone who said that this shows that we are, this is inevitable because we are not a producing nation. The Association of Registered Freight Forwarders of Nigeria, Frank Uko, the founder of that association, says this is inevitable. We're not a producing nation. We're constantly consuming. There's no way of getting out of this. Something drastic has to be done now. We're heading the way of Zimbabwe. Wow. And in the same report, they took the story of what is happening right now in Sierra Leone, warning us we should balance things. You know, we should try to find a solution. When I mean balance things, we should start producing as quickly as possible. We must deliberately stop this, consuming mentality, especially of foreign.
We need electricity.
We need electricity to produce. So the matter is just...
There's a lot of things.
Are you taking another story?
No, just to say that Lassa fever, the numbers given by NCDC has said that the numbers have increased of those who have died from Lassa fever to 165. And just stakeholders are saying that we need to ensure that for all of us here in Nigeria, we make sure we cover the food that we eat properly. And then, government has to do a better job in sensitizing Nigerians, especially at the grassroots, the measures that they need to take for their hygiene, wash your hands, and just the normal regular things, cook your food properly, cover it properly, just so that,
avoid Lassa fever. Okay, moving on to the Daily Sun. Federal government disrespecting UN by keeping Kano in detention, Igbo youths. Naseni trains 3,700 youths on modern farming. Ayu calls Wike's bluff. We've taken that. NCDC confirms additional 13 new cases of Lassa fever. Taking that. INEC begins display of voters register in Oyo, Lagos. Nationwide blackout looms as electricity workers shut down services Wednesday. Osun holds local government poll October 15th. Ohaneze applauds Obiozo at 80, hails him as a man of uncommon intellect. Anambra establishes a family court to tackle domestic violence. What do we have in the Sun?
Anambra State. So the Commissioner for Women Affairs in the state, Mrs. Ife Obinabo, disclosed this during what they call a Leadership of United Businesswomen and Farmers Association visit. And she just said that given some of the backstory about domestic violence and a recent story where a member of government had been accused or alleged to have led to the death of his wife due to domestic violence, was the one that sort of instigated or encouraged Anambra State to set up what they call a family court to tackle various issues related to domestic violence in the state, and really to also help address some of these issues before they degenerate into the loss of lives and property. The visiting group has also said they also are approached by many people from the state to help them deal with domestic issues, and they would like government support to help them so that they can further give that sort of help to the state. I'm happy that we understand the need for courts like this.
Yeah.
It will quickly address issues. You will not leave it waiting, and
lingering for a very long time.
For a while. So this is good.
Okay, who has the Naseni trains? 3,700 youths. Modern farming. We didn't take that. Okay, let's move on quickly to the Vanguard. PDP, Atiku holds rally in Yola. Wike's allies meet in Port Harcourt. Police, custom officers clearing agents buy Colorado tramadol from us. Drug peddlers allege. Wow. Millions of Nigerians taken out of poverty through works and housing ministry. Fashola. Worsening insecurity. Nigerians living in fear and uncertainty. Afenifere. Victor Waifo's family disowns remembrance program. Alleges forgery of will. Wow. Blackout looms as electricity workers begin strike tomorrow. Picket TCN today. 2023 is time for Southern president, says Akeredolu. What stories do we have in the Vanguard?
CEO. Police customs officers, others by Colorado, tramadol from us, drug peddlers allege. So the Vanguard did this investigation. They had a reporter go in and, the report is that the Lagos ports of Apapa and the Tinkan Island have become a haven for cartels and peddlers of illicit drugs in Apapa. One of the reporters had gone in, to pretend to get these drugs. And he said it was quite easy. But many of them say that it's a lot of the officers, the security operatives, the clearing agents, after a hard day's work, either they come themselves or send their boys to come and buy these drugs from them. They have how much, I don't know if it's right, but it's already in the paper, how much each of the different types of drugs go for.
Wow.
And it's just the rates
so
that they go for.
Just go in and get it.
Yes, you can just walk in and get it. The government has done its part in making sure that they clear all the shanties and all the small settlements there to dissuade them. But they still find a way that a lot of them pretend to be selling proper pharmaceutical products, and they use all those carts, to sell those products. But they're actually selling drugs. And the people who are meant to make sure they are not selling drugs are those that are patronizing them.
So the families of Victor Waifu are, screaming out that, there's an event coming up to mark their father's first year anniversary of his passing, and that event put together by his manager, who is presently in court over forgery of his will. They took him to court to, over forgery of their father's will. And that his name is Chris Eburu, his former manager, that he put together this event alongside some people they know nothing about, and that all of his children, out of his 12 children, 8 of them don't know a thing about this. And even though he's coming up abroad, they have some of his children abroad who are also not a party to it. They say that, the event should not be regarded. But the manager has responded that, this anniversary, he said, Waifo's Revelation Tourism Palazzo Center was an association, and as an association does not need the approval of any of the children of Waifo to put together this event, and that the issue of the forgery of his will is already in court. They are alleging that the witnesses to that will are not people known to their dad. They're also saying that by their father's lifestyle, he couldn't have allowed a woman unmarried to witness his will as a Benin man and all of those other things that they say are their pointers. But we'll let the court decide based on the legal technicalities what constitutes forgery, or if not, they will.
But then about the event.
But the event, the manager says is going on with the event, and that as an association, they do not need the approval of any of his children to put together this event. I don't know how.
Would have
So
been
who will
better.
now attend?
Maybe he's empowered.
The family members will not.
No, his fans, of course, will attend the event if his music is.
It would have been best if there was collaboration.
So I think, yes. So this is something that can be arranged. They can settle their differences and continue to honor the memory of their dad, both manager and children. So all these issues are just...
Okay, let me leave my story because of time. Let's quickly move on to the Tribune. I have not resigned. I have 4-year mandate. Are you? That story. Experts decry Nigeria's pensions for abandoned buildings. Inflation rises to 19.64%, highest in 17 years. Police arrest 30-year-old over attempt to abduct 3 university students in Oyo. Cooking gas price rises by over 100% year-on-year. Electricity workers set for strike tomorrow. Naseni deploys technologies to train 3,700 youths in modern farming. So what stories do we have in the Tribune?
No.
You don't have any stories in the Tribune? Okay, so I took the cooking gas story. Let me quickly get it. So, according to the story, it said the price of household, according to the story and also what we are experiencing as Nigerians, we are the ones buying the gas, we understand. It said the cooking gas, known as liquefied petroleum, rose by over 100% year on year. The latest reports from the NBS. So on a month-on-month basis, the average retail price for refilling a 5 kg cylinder of liquefied petroleum gas according to the reports, increased by 7.57%. June 2022, we had it, so it kept moving from 3,900, it moved to 4,200, then it moved to, I think, 4,650. And right now, some people are buying in different places 9,005. I bought last week for 9,005. Now, the issue here is that they are saying that while everybody is complaining because of the Russia-Ukraine war and is affecting them, Nigerians should not be a part of the people complaining. Those people is really hitting are those who do not even have crude oil, because they are constantly importing and it's very expensive now. But we have crude oil. We shouldn't be among the countries who are complaining. And what they are advising now is that we need to revamp our refineries. As a matter of fact, they should declare a state of emergency on the refineries, ensure that we begin to revamp them, and also make plans to build a state-of-the-art new refineries to help us so that we don't continue to have this sort of issues where everybody's crying, and even the people that own the natural resources are crying as well. I just hope that something can be done about this. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we move on to our hot topics. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communications story.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's your view. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bali, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable.
Come closer. A little bit.
Thanks for staying with us. So, last Friday, the management of the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund appeared before the Senate Public Accounts Committee and stated that termites have eaten up some documents of the trust fund containing expenditures worth 17.1 billion. These documents are set to contain details of spendings by the agency in 2013. This has been under investigation, and some receipts were not presented when a panel was set up to investigate how these monies had been spent. And now we hear that termites are finally eating the documents and probably the receipts, so we may not have any of this information anymore. But what are your thoughts on this? You can join the conversation on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948, or tweet to us at TVC #TVC Connect. So, my sisters, what is it with Nigerians and animals, Nigerian parastatals, government?
Environmentalists.
You are the queen of vultures. So tell us the connect when we are. I remember back in 2018, the snake swallowed some amount of money.
I think there was a monkey too.
There was another incident where a monkey as well swallowed some amount of money. What is it? Why do we keep hearing things like this?
Okay, but just to, the story out there for this particular case is that there was a container that they had moved many of their documents into and had been left, to the mercy of the elements. They said rain definitely fell on it. And then, of course, over time, termites will do what termites do. So there are two things here. The fact that in an important probe like this, you do not have the documents necessary to back up whatever claims that you have, and that the excuse you give is that termite is just, I want to say embarrassing, but is it really? This is Nigeria. Every day we hear one thing or the other. There's nothing that shocks me in our country anymore. But also there's the fact that this I know very much. You go to some parastatals and some office and some documents you want, usually from maybe 10 years, and they're usually, by the time they bring them out, you see them looking, you see them looking really old. Thank you. They're not kept properly. They're not stored properly. And I remember there was a time they said when the computers came in, when every, technology and computers everywhere, the idea was supposed to take this information from these old files and the old way of doing things and put them on the systems. Obviously, we haven't done that, or we are now using it as an excuse to, so that we don't get called out for some bad behavior. This, for me, is a serious case of corruption.
Yes.
And if you are unable to provide the information or the data or the documents needed to, you'll be in big trouble. This should not be an excuse. But this is from 2013. I guess now what will happen is you have to call all those people who were, involved that year and call them to answer to this. But why would you have documents and everybody knows that you have this document just left outside for rain and termites to feast on?
That's very sad. Ima, what are your thoughts?
So now, it's a problem from the root. I think that, even from government agencies that would expect to hold some agencies to account, they don't keep copies of some transactions themselves. And then we don't budget properly. Why would you store certain sensitive documents in a container outside, open to elements? There are several storage facilities that are modern.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking of the tech ones now where you put up in a cloud, you put in a flash, in a diskette. I have lost all my software. Over the years, whenever I work on any document, I keep the samples because it takes a while to draft the good document. So when I have to draft next time and the terms look the same, I insert names and it works faster. I call them my software. I've saved them over time in flash drives, add storage drives and all of that. And recently, I just could not. Once I opened a new system and tried to put them back on, I couldn't find all of them. So I'm starting afresh.
Yeah.
So these things happen. I'm not saying there's a perfect storage system. I'm just saying there are more modern, more ways to do things. As lawyers, when I was interning with one of the lawyers then in Festac, we had a very good safe drive, and it was fireproof and everything proof. So I don't understand how a government establishment,
A full government,
will not have, such storage modern or unique storage safe for keeping things like that. That you go and put them in a container so that termites can go. There are certain storage implements that you have. Nothing of elements of God can reach them. Not even fire. And so we know whenever these things happen and a person comes before any probe partner and says that it's a cover-up, clear. It's corruption, it's a cover-up, and there's no excuse for it. Imagine that within the CBN, they are telling us that they cannot find the document. This country will fall.
Yes, sir.
And NPC now, they might have to say termites enter there because now they've not meeting.
No, we need to look for another animal. Termite,
So,
they've used termites.
They use termites now, they have to find
And in my
out.
own place where in my family, we honor termites, so there's a likeness to my praise in my family that termites are not dangerous. And now, somebody is likening them to this kind of thing. They're not the ones destroying. It is the cover-up that is happening within every government establishment. The Jam one, for instance, that woman had, over the years, when we used to use scratch cards, sold and consumed the money without remitting. She is the consumer of the money. But when she came before a probe panel, some people just don't think. You just throw snake at the whole country as having swallowed the entire money. Fear of God catch me. Some kind of heavy lie that you don't even probe. So we know that if you don't keep things well, these things will go bad. Things will happen to them. But Nigerians, when you hold an office, you must learn to keep not just copies of those things, but to keep them well in case you are accounting for them. And when you are handing over or you're leaving that office, feel proud to hand over to the next person. Neatly. Good records of how you held office. I grew up, my dad growing up had one diary. We call it hardcover higher education. And in that book you hear, mosque, so and so money for this. Mosque this. One time I went into that book, because there was always monies in between. Names, labeled and all of that. And I took some change and I went to school. in the name that when I come back, I'll put it back. And unfortunately for me, that's the day Baba opened his book to check. There's no sermon in the world I did not hear about trust, amana. You keep something, they gave you something to keep. You keep. there was no sermon that, I thought I stole, money that I intended to put back. So that's how people of old used to think. And you'd expect that people would do it now. Those are the people who are aspiring for offices, they want to die there. But then when they go into those offices, they abuse it. Recently, they said there was an agency who said they just took 72,000 because one of them, in a government public office, they said they took just 72 million for surgeries of one staff. In this country, they just took it without probe, without approval, without
to put it back.
I don't understand, because that's how they always took. They've always took, and nobody has ever held them to account. There are ways to hold public office, and I hope that this probe does not start and keep quiet. So the probe must follow through their inability to answer for this money. Something destroyed it. You are unable to answer for, so that they themselves will start to find copies and be made to answer for this. There should be consequence for their failure.
So there are two things I hear. One is the issue of management. We've had problems of managing our parastatals. It's been a disease that has eaten deep into the government system. With the new inventions, technology and all that, I was thinking that some things would have gradually been phased out. I was thinking that by now we'll have governments who are beginning to set up, they are transferring data from manual files to the computer. There are some agencies that are doing that. When you want to do your CAC registration now, everything is mostly done online and all that. So what stops this trust fund to have started? That's one. Issue of management, we need to deal with that. Then secondly, who do we now hold responsible? How do we deter these kind of stories from happening again? Whose heads are going to roll in this kind of thing?
Talking about management and that one that you brought up is that, people used to go to school to learn how to keep documents.
It's a cost.
I mean, it's a job. It's a proper job. And I don't know if anyone does that. I know a lot of things are phasing out, but, this is something that we need to bring back and encourage, because obviously it looks like Nigerian civil service is struggling in that aspect. But, if we constantly just keep talking about it and making it newspaper and everybody laughs about it, nothing will be done. We just need to see that people, although I hear that people have been sacked, but,
sack is not enough.
It's never enough. Yeah. We need to punish people. Yes. And when we punish people, we cannot give them pardon 2 months down the line while doing their sentence.
That's another issue.
We need to send a message to people that when you do something like this, there are consequences. And that's the only reason why Nigerians will keep behaving like this. The other reason why people would not want to do the hard job of transferring our old files onto the computer, it's easier. There are so many loopholes in the old system. There are so many things that you can get away with. Here, the computer, many Nigerians in the civil service are still struggling to understand it. Oh, God help you if you had to go to civil service and it's always network down. And I'm wondering, is it really network, or are we struggling to, it's always, every time there's something you have to do with the government and a lot of people are gathering, there's always something about network shutdown, and I just feel that they do not have the right hands yet, and they're still grappling with how to use it. But it's also harder, to do some things that are illegal because on computers, because it will show. And there's something also about money. If you decide to follow, money leaves a footprint, money leaves a trail. Unless you are not looking, but if you want to find money today, you will find it. Even this amount of money that they have said Termites have,
they can trace it.
They can trace it. In fact, they said that some of these went to some accounts,
yes.
Personal names and some companies. So it can be traced. We'll find out why they ended up there, and everybody will be should give account for what amount they got and how they spent it.
I agree with you, Miriam. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we take phone calls and messages. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communications story.
Welcome back. So we're still talking about the Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund and how they have claimed that termites ate the documents that contain some amount of money that is missing right now. But you can join the conversation on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948. Tweet us, send tubes, send books if we still open our Facebook. So I know that in this case, they've started this investigation a while now, and a lot of managers, people who had worked in this sector had been called in from time to time to give an account of how this money was being spent. And it was as if they were passing blame. I'm not in office at so time. Why don't you check with the account and all that? What is that thing you think government can do in sincerity to deter its officers from eating this amount of money and blaming it on something else? If peradventure something like this happens in your home, how do you handle it?
So in the old civil service, I had a paper clipping of old Dendel State when I was a child that I read, and there was consequence for your inability to answer to. So I would understand how then, if somebody was aspiring for an office, the weight that it carries, the way they would handle it. Recently, there's been no consequence for any inaction or action. So even legally, crimes are committed whether by action or omission. Yeah. But here, omission becomes a defense. When they come to answer and somebody says, I don't know means that you go and prove. I just don't know.
Just leave me.
There should be consequence for I don't know. If the box stops at your desk, at your table, you are head of Dagbaja so department. There's an account of everything happening under your eye that you must give. Your inability to give it cannot be excused. I have seen panels held. We even the panel of off your mic. It ended at I don't know, of certain things happening under your nose.
And you go scot-free.
We're talking of 17.158 billion naira.
Hey.
Between a period of 2013, between January to December 2013, in a period of 1 year, 2 bank accounts. So several angles you can trail this money, as Miriam said.
Let me pause you. I'll come back to you. Ernest from Lokoja has called in. Good morning, Ernest.
Good morning. Yes. I first of all want to thank all of you for this program. I'm a regular listener.
Welcome to the show.
All right. You guys are doing a very nice job and keep it up.
Thank you.
The problem we have is that we don't have decent leaders. Even in our offices, we don't have decent leaders. Because based on what they are saying, each time a fraud is committed, the next thing we hear is that one thing has consumed the money. And I keep wondering, so Termites eat money?
They eat paper.
Or newspaper, or if some time ago we heard about snake issue, monkey and blah blah blah, all these things. I think the one has gone digital. Even personally, I know how I store my own data, my own thing. So if these people are just trying to see how they can siphon money. So I think the high time we begin to hold them responsible. Any person that that such happens to in our office, we hold them accountable. That is when we can only get it right.
Thank you so much, Ernest. You were saying, Nima.
Okay, so from a period to a period, banking account officers within these banks sent out money based on the instructions of so. So the tracing is a lot of work for an EFCC agency. But I've seen the EFCC. I've gone to the EFCC to write petitions on behalf of some of my clients, and I've seen how thoroughly that they deal with such petitions. People come in to answer, and how thoroughly they follow through. So if a person fails to cover certain areas of question, you know that that area is grey. You probe further that area, you find, and if federal government is serious, they will probe those loopholes, those unanswered questions, till there's a consequence for whoever fails to answer to. So when you come to before a panel or a court, and they're saying this and this and this are missing within your watch, somebody cannot keep these two things now. And I'll say, I do not know where this can go, but this one, I was watching it carefully. How? I should be able to say, I slept off and somebody took this one. So I omitted to protect, and then the consequence of it, if I cannot place it where it went and confirm who stole it, I must be made to face it. That makes me sit up when I'm working to make sure that whatever is within my care is thoroughly protected. But in Nigeria, we then see people say, like the former CGN who just declared health issues and resigned when he was being probed to answer certain questions as regards, appropriating funds under his watch. Without bothering to answer that question, he was retired honorably. You go house.
Yeah.
And there's certainly no consequence.
It's not move.
It's a bad trend. It didn't start now. Yeah. It's always been. But that bad trend continues. This no consequence mentality, and nothing can happen. I know Bissing, I know Miriam now. They're the ones on the pro. Bissing, remember that time when you were on grab, the ones that give you water.
Yeah,
Miriam, remember that time that you were stranded? I was the one that sent my driver to pick you. So you people would that be like, it's we, it's us. This country has to grow.
Let me take
where we are. We don't like where we are. We will not get a Messiah to come and change it. The people of Nigeria must change.
I agree with you. Let's take Jubril from Ikeja. Good morning, Jubril.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, ma?
I'm doing amazing. And you?
I'm very, very okay. Man, I really, really enjoy your program.
Thank you.
Can I tell you about that money that Termites eat?
Yes, please.
You see, the problem we're having in Nigeria today, we don't have a very, very good leader. Everybody is thinking about themselves. Majority of the leaders that we have, I'm sorry to say, they are not sincere on a very, very good note.
I'm sorry.
It's only God that will help us in Nigeria.
We are
very stingy and greedy. We only know ourselves, but we don't care about others. May God help us in Nigeria.
Thank you, Jubrilo. I don't think it's God, though. I think we have
because
to begin
when this is where we call that you, the people.
Yeah.
It's when we say to help us in Nigeria. We cannot blame colonialists today.
At all.
We cannot blame military today. We cannot blame, you know, there's just groups that we're constantly blaming. Today, we blame us. Because I always say this, our leaders, those in authority, those heading parastatals in offices, they are Nigerians, they are relatives, they are fathers, they are mothers, they are sisters and brothers. When you go even for little things, sometimes you go to some offices for little things. You know, I don't want to call this particular government agency here, but I know someone in there who has asked if there was a way we could investigate and make the reports, you know, well known. Nigerians are supposed to go there and do business, and you're not supposed to pay any money. And the amount of money, even if you have to pay, is just minimal. But the people that work there found a way to make sure that those who are coming to get that service from federal government parastatal are paying much more than they are asked to pay. And they are getting away with it. And everyone in that office is involved. So the person that you're even supposed to report to, HR, your director, everyone is involved. And if you're not involved, you're the one that's being called out.
The outsider.
Yes, you've become, you know, the outsider. And so when we sit down in our homes, we don't have a good leader. Are you a good leader where you are today? That is where we need to start from.
Let's take this call, Adisa from Oshodi. Good morning, Adisa.
Yeah, good morning, Nema.
You're live.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good. Now, thank God I was able to come in. The last person that was talking about is only God that we're born in this country. That's not correct, because every country serves God, and God is not a person, is not meant for Nigeria alone. So, you see, and then when they mention bad leaders, I used to correct many people in society that the problem is not the leader. We have a damaged system. I'm sorry to bring in politics. And when people shout obedience, I say, no, look, this country is not about individuals. The system is damaged. Whether Obi is the president, Tinubu is, or Atiku is, we have a damaged system. Now tell me, since the first person that made mention of snake then has gone without being punished, everybody now has excuses to siphon money. Now, if you want to tell me 2013, my son was 2013, and I still have all the pictures on his naming. I sent them on Google Drive for free. Next year it's going to be 10 years. So you don't tell me there's a Google Drive where you can keep files, archives. So you don't tell me a file is missing just less than 9 years. It's not done. So we have a corrupt system. And if the system does not change, sorry, a prophet cannot come and change it. But it's not the issue of the leadership. No, we have a damaged system. This country needs to be decentralized. The country is so wide that people feel nothing can be done to them. How can you just tell me you throw a file of that contains 17-point-something billion naira? Just 2013 at digital age? No, it's not done that way. So irrespective of who becomes the president, who governs this country, if we did not correct that system, if we did not correct the system that says you can be a politician, but you as a politician, your son cannot attend a public school, that means you are not proud of the system you are controlling. If you are a politician, you are a governor, you are a councillor, you are a chairman, you are a president, but your children cannot attend that public school you're meant to be handling, you are not qualified for that position. So we need to correct that confusion first. The confusion must be done in such a way that from the president up to the local government councillor, your children must attend a public school, not a private school. A public school, which you are proud. You are proud to be a councillor, but you are not proud to send your children to a public school. So you should not fit in that office.
Thank you so much, Adisa. That's I agree. Thank you. We need to do a lot more by holding ourselves accountable. Take some tweets before.
So Emmanuel here says clear case of cover-up, but the real issue is the impunity that emboldens such stunts.
So say it.
Knowing fully well that nothing will happen, and is naively delusional to even hope that anything will come out of any investigation. We have had snakes, so termites shouldn't surprise anyone. We have Bukola Salako says, why did they not employ technology to preserve important documents? This is definitely a cover-up. Nigerian civil service are the ones destroying this country. Mazi Okeojuku says, when no one is severely punished for wrongdoing in public office, the rest shall rise to do more wrongs. Punishment is meant to deter the rest. That excuse an insult to Nigerians. Yes, yeah. So the termites.
I agree. So for me, I think I'm happy that this has come to the fore. And I want to believe that Nigerians will not accept this. So we want to hear that everyone who is involved from the time they started will be probed. Nobody's allowed to resign. When this sort of thing, yes, when this sort of thing happens in private organizations, you are not allowed to resign till you are in the clear. So we don't want to hear that somebody has resigned. You have to be there to go through this probe, and those banks that were involved, those accounts need to be fished out. We need to find the root of this. And if peradventure we're not able to get it, the people who are supposed to be in charge of the money when the termites ate it, we have to refund the money back. That means you were not diligent in your work. We need to sit up.
And as an environmentalist, stop killing pangolins. Pangolins eat termites. Yeah, they are the most trafficked mammals today. Stop eating them. Stop killing them.
Okay, I don't know what pangolin is, but let's go. When we come back, we'll move on to other topics. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV, online, and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communication story.
Come closer. A little bit more. Perfect. I have exciting news for you. You asked for it and you got it. Your favorite breakfast show, Your View, will be going to 2 hours. We're going to have in-depth analysis of the newspaper review and more conversations on the hot topics. The ladies of Your View and I will be stirring up our guests to get in-depth into all the various topics, and you, our viewers, will have the opportunity to call in and share your views. After all, it's Your View. Join us on Your View, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a fantastic conversation. Don't miss it.
Welcome back. It's Healthy Tuesday, and joining us on the show to talk about health-related matters is a pediatric surgeon and the incumbent Chief Medical Director, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, LUTH, Professor Christopher Olusanjo Bode. He will be speaking on issues that centers on LUTH at 60. Your ability to access medical care, complaints, latest innovations, reducing medical tourism, eliminating maldiagnosis, maldiagnosis, checking corruption among staff, and others. You can join the show by calling on 08127053687 or Twitter us at TVC Connect. Good morning, Professor.
Very good morning to you, too. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. So today we are talking about LUTH at 60.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
LUTH is celebrating its 60th year anniversary, started on the 9th of this month. 60 years ago, on the 9th of this month, the first patient was admitted into LUTH. That's what we are celebrating today. All the good things that have happened in those 60 years. Yes.
Okay. So I would like to start by asking you, how have you progressed from the time you started 60 years ago till now in terms of the sort of care that you give to patients who come into LUTH?
I must say that, you see, by the time LUTH was starting, there was only one teaching hospital in Nigeria. That was the University College Hospital in Ibadan, UCH, which had been established in 1948. Following the reports of the Ashby Commission, there was need to establish 3 more teaching hospitals along with their corresponding universities. The Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital in Zaria, the University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital in Enugu, and also the Lagos University Teaching Hospital as the teaching hospital for the University of Lagos, which was established at that time. It's been a steady march in progress ever since. Starting with nothing on ground, this hospital evolved into a household name in Nigeria, a big brand, and many lives have been saved with many firsts. This hospital established the first endoscopy unit, which was done by Professor Akinade Shola and his surgical team in the whole of West Africa. This hospital established the first radiation biology center to treat cancers. Professor Kofi Duncan is still alive. The first dialysis center in West Africa was established in this hospital. And any dentist in Nigeria was either trained by or trained by somebody who trained in LUTH, because we were the first to establish the first department of dentistry in the whole of Nigeria. So many firsts like that. The hospital has given a good account of itself in service, in training, and also in research, which have remained the 3 mandates for which it was established. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So, Prof, we would like to know, in the 60 years of LUTH's existence, what would you say are let me just give a number, 3 things that you're most proud of today, and then 3 things you wish you could do better or could be done better in 60 years?
3 each?
Yes, please. Or 1 each.
The hospital has produced thousands upon thousands of skilled manpower. Our trainees, our graduates are much sought after all over the world. You don't hear anybody complain about Nigerian doctors, and anywhere they go, they excel. That nurses, doctors, pharmacists, laboratory specialists, and you name it, they all excel wherever they go. That is a testimony to the degree of training that they receive here. Another one has been the upsurge of infrastructural renaissance that has happened in the hospital in the past decade. We have so many things to be proud of. We have the best cancer center in the whole of West Africa, in fact, sub-Saharan Africa, north of South Africa. We are confident we deliver world-class cancer care at a fraction of what you will get it anywhere else in the world, even excluding the cost of airfare and hotel fare. And we have so many, that's another one. And the third thing I'm very happy about is the role the hospital played in assisting both the federal government and the Lagos state government during the last COVID-19 pandemic. I won't say the last, which is still ongoing.
Yeah.
So these are great things that the hospital has meaningfully contributed to not only Nigeria, but to the world. Yeah. And any we can stand tall and hold our head high and say, yes, LUTH has been a part of those things. Now, you also ask about things that I would rather wish to be done better. I would wish, for example, that all Nigerians are well covered under a well-organized national health insurance scheme by now. People say we still have less than 10% of Nigerians covered. And as such, healthcare financing and who pays for good care that we can provide is a problem. Without money, you cannot run, even if you can produce the best care. If the clientele cannot pay for it, how do you sustain it? That's one thing. And it's one thing Nigeria will have to grapple with and definitely decide on who. The question is who will finance the good healthcare Nigerians receive from hospitals such as this. That is one thing. Another thing I would rather not have had were the spate of incessant strike actions that dominated the past several years until maybe, let me say, about 7 or 8 years ago, when in our sector, the healthcare sector, government put its foot down and said, if you don't work, you don't get paid, and that reverberated down the rank and file. And as such, we've had a lot of peace in the system, which has allowed growth. We could have done without all those strike actions. When at a point, everybody wanted to see who could call the most number of strike actions. A third one would be the unsavory interdisciplinary rivalries between associations in the healthcare sector. We know the historical antecedent and all that. It didn't go well for healthcare for a long time. These were things that, however, have now been put to rest, or let me largely put to rest. We could do better, but these are some of the things one could have done without.
Thank you, Prof. Well explained. Let me get in more questions.
Okay,
Nima.
so Prof, congratulations on the 60th.
Thank you. Thank you.
LUTH as an institution cannot just, be without challenges. I know that the institution was built for a smaller population, and since the population has exceeded that facility, so constantly you have patients coming and complaining of bed spaces. Some of these issues are unattended. I had the experience of turning back patients. There's also the mismanagement of certain areas of the operations of the hospital where your staff, some of them, would require monies before they even allow people into the gate because of bed spaces. Again, there's corruption. There's so many issues. How many of these are to your knowledge, and how have you been tackling them, sir?
Thank you very much. I think the first part of your comment is well taken. That in 1962, when LUTH was established, it was planned for the small population of Lagos. About 20 something years ago, the population of Lagos was just about 2 million. You can imagine that the population of Lagos has done more than 10 times that since. And as such, the same facilities established 60 years ago cannot cope any longer. We now have 2 teaching hospitals in Lagos. In comparison, let's take what happens in Abidjan, which has a population of about 8 million, has 3 teaching hospitals, and they are building more. So you can compare that with a population of over 20 million that has just 2 teaching hospitals. And until recently, the primary and the secondary tiers of healthcare were virtually not doing their own heavy lifting, meaning every complaint, headache, catarrh, cough, diarrhea, come to this tertiary institution. So that has been a strain on the services, on the facilities, on the manpower. So that we're happy in a lot of newer renewal and rehabilitations are going on in LUTH as I speak, and this is to respond meaningfully to the demand that is placed on our shoulders. For example, our accident and emergency building is also used for the outpatient as outpatient clinic, and over time the complaint is that, oh, no space in LUTH emergency. Yes, that is partially true, because no matter how big a facility is, if it's not used properly by the end users, it will become overwhelmed. You can go to DC General Hospital, DC General in Washington, DC, and wait 3 hours to see a doctor. And when Nigerians experience this, that's when they write home and say, oh, we didn't know this also happens abroad. But the peculiar problems in Nigeria include the fact that patients cannot even pay for what they are consuming for the services you are rendering. Somebody comes in, you admit him, you're supposed to spend 6 to 12 hours or so in the emergency room, but you finish treating and he cannot even move to the next stage. He cannot pay to be admitted, he cannot go for surgery because he sends somebody to Kokomai to go bring money, and that person doesn't come back for the next 4 days. So he's blocking a bed. And that happens, if you multiply that by 30, 40 beds, then the next patient that comes in, the conveyor belt has not moved. So that's been a problem, which goes back to what I alluded to earlier. We must find out how we will sort out payment for good services that we're rendering. So that is that. What we are doing now is that, yes. Okay. Let me just make this point. Okay. What we are doing now is that we have appealed to government, and government in its wisdom has granted us good funding to move the whole of the outpatient clinic from where it used to be across the road, so that we will have about 256 rooms for outpatient alone, and the building that we're using for emergency now will be used totally only for emergency. So this will expand our services a lot very soon. That's the point I was going to make. Okay, thank you so much, Prof. But I want to ask this question. We know about medical tourism. One side, we have the brain drain, where doctors are resigning and going for greener pastures outside the country. On the other hand, we have most of our leaders not using the facilities we have. So with every innovation that LUTH is doing, why do we still not have our leaders and politicians patronize a hospital like LUTH in Nigeria? I may not be able to speak for our leaders, but I may just make conjectures. The choice of where you go for healthcare depends on a number of factors. Don't forget that hospitals are a combination of what you call hotel facilities, where you want to be pampered and you want to be given prompt attention, for which you will pay, and also the treatment facility, medical treatment. We combine this in hospitals like LUTH. We have gone through several years of zero growth budgets, underfunding, conflicting policies and things like that, which led to us getting left behind. I'm not talking only of LUTH, Nigerian medical services in Nigeria. We got left behind while other countries and other climes moved ahead technology-wise. It's only in the recent years when governments have renewed the desire to fund teaching hospitals like LUTH and rehabilitate them that confidence is returning. And this, as quite a number of government officers are patronizing hospitals like LUTH, I must say that. So that impression is wrong, that they are not coming. They are beginning to come. I mean, who want to go and spend $32,000 abroad when you can get it for less than $3,000-4,000 in Nigeria in LUTH in your own backyard?
Money.
And
I don't want to answer that question.
It's government money, Prof.
But Prof, I just want to say.
Okay, I say it's government money. You were asking who would want to spend that amount of money.
So a lot of government officials are coming. I don't know if it will be possible to legislate that nobody should go out of Nigeria. We are not an authoritarian country. So, but what we can do is to promote and continue to improve our services and advertise them and use mediums like yours to advertise what we do, showcase what we are doing and what we are doing well. And that's the only way the confidence will return. And then more people will patronize us and spend their money here in Nigeria. And that's the way it is. Thank you.
Okay, Prof, so, this job that we do here, every day we get to read some really heartbreaking stories as it relates to our health sector. One of the ones that keeps reoccurring that's so heartbreaking is when someone is involved in an accident or has been shot by an armed robber and that patient is taken to the hospital. I would like to know what LUTH stance is on someone who has been brought to the emergency, either from a road accident, bleeding from a gunshot wound, with no relative or anyone that can stand for them at the time. What is the policy on LUTH to treat that person or send them away?
Thank you. The teaching hospital was built by Nigeria for Nigerians. We are all human beings too. And apart from that, the federal government has a policy for all its hospitals. Any hospital in Nigeria, whether private or public, is not allowed to reject a human being brought for emergency treatment. That goes without saying. Whether you are a king or a pauper, you have money, you don't, we cannot reject you for an emergency. We will admit you, we will give you the best care we can to revive that person and stabilize. Please, those words are very important. If he's bleeding, we stop it. If he's cold, we warm him up. If he's having a fever, we bring it down. If he's unconscious, we find out the reason why, investigate, and quickly bring that person to consciousness. If he's diabetic, we maintain, and we do all that to revive. Then we maintain life. That is the stabilization. We maintain life so that it doesn't go down or become worse. But after that, within the first 48 hours, 24, 48 hours, if I will not say this so openly, let me be careful and choose my words very well. We will revive you and stabilize that person. If it's a critical thing, we cannot stop and fold our hands and say, okay, go and bring money before we treat you, we do the next things. We will encourage that whoever that person is to pay, if they can, if they are conscious, we will still continue treating. But we will try and get our money subsequently. I think that's all I'm allowed to say, because while saying all that, you cannot say everything will be free ad infinitum. Otherwise, the culture in Nigeria is, even the richest man will say he cannot pay. So we don't reject anybody. That's one. Second thing is that I'm happy. Government has now is putting in place now some funds that will be able to take care of such persons, and it's being worked out so that hospitals like ours will get paid for work done. Okay? It is being put together by government so that nobody should perish because they don't.
I agree with you, Prof, but we know that LUTH as an institution also gets a budget. But then
I didn't hear that very well.
You get a budget as an institution from the government, so it's not a private institution run on itself. So money should not be priority. Sir, I want to go back on the issue of management again. How many times and how have you handled the issue of no oxygen? We know when people come to hospitals, you then find out that patients are made to buy certain things they need for care in government hospitals. It happens a lot. You're treating a patient, they run out of fuel, they run out of oxygen. the families are running helter-skelter. These are some reports that, have happened within your institution. Also, how do you deal with some of your high-ranking doctors who are consultants with private hospitals, referring patients out of LUTH to those hospitals? Have you gotten those reports in the past, and how have you dealt with some of them, sir?
Okay. No oxygen. LUTH has an oxygen plant established by a private organization years ago that produces up to 160 cylinders of oxygen a day.
Yes.
Recently, we as I speak, so that capacity is also being upgraded with funds from government. So the issue of no oxygen rarely occurs in LUTH. Except there is a breakdown or something, no oxygen doesn't occur.
Prof, sorry to interrupt you.
Let me finish that sentence. Okay. However, the oxygen we get from the private PPP must be paid for. Otherwise, we won't be able to get more. So the issue may be a patient who cannot pay. We will find a way around it. We will not deny you of oxygen, but we have enough oxygen. The litmus test of that was during the COVID-19 pandemic, when so many patients had to be admitted at the same time. We managed. Yeah. We even that time, when there was a day we had 48 patients on admission, all of them needed high flow rate oxygen, we supplied it. So LUTH LUTH has oxygen. We're even hoping that by the time the increased capacity comes in, we'll be able to supply other centers with oxygen. That's one thing I will say.
Thank you so much,
the second thing you mentioned something again about doctors that have private practices.
Yes.
And we discourage that with as much force as possible. It's in the statutes that nobody should refer our patients outside. If anybody is reported who does that, they will face the highest level of disciplinary action from the hospital.
Thank you so much, Prof.
If it's brought to the attention of the institution, yes.
Thank you so much for being on the show. I wish we had more time with you. We would have asked a lot of questions, because there are still issues that Nigerians are complaining about, especially when it comes to LUTH, that we didn't have an opportunity to get answers to today. But thank you so much. From time to time, we hope to hear from you on that. We've been speaking to Professor Christopher Olusojo-Bode. Thank you, sir. All right, that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, we move on to other topics. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
At TVC Communications, we're all about our audience. Millions of viewers, listeners, and readers every day all around Nigeria.
Our 2 TV stations are among the most watched in Nigeria.
TVC News is our award-winning 24-hour national and international news channel headquartered here in Lagos, broadcasting live from our custom-built state-of-the-art news headquarters.
TVC, the top-rated family entertainment channel, is the place for fun, music, and information. With our breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, the all-female chat show, Your View, the best soaps and dramas from Nolly, Bolly, and Hollywood, music and entertainment blast, courtesy E-Splash, and of course, award-winning news and current affairs. It is all here.
With news bureau and studios around the country and the ability to go live anywhere, anytime, we are first for breaking news in Nigeria. Awarded the NMMA TV Station of the Year, TVC News is the station of choice for news that is first, accurate, balanced, and reliable every time. TVC and TVC News watched by over 4.5 million people in Nigeria every day on terrestrial, DTH, DTT, OTT, and available to viewers in the UK on Sky TV. Watch all of our world-class programs on TV online and on our app. TVC and TVC News, the best entertainment and news for Nigeria, on TV and online.
And when you can't watch us, listen to us. 102.3 Max FM Lagos and 90.9 Max FM Abuja are now ranked among the most listened to radio stations in Nigeria.
Now, with over 1.5 million listeners every day, we're the people's favorite radio station. Best hit music, best on-air talent. Max 102.3 hit music for Lagos and Max 90.9 hit music for Abuja. We are your home for that fun, entertainment, and hit music.
In Lagos, TVC, our leading family entertainment TV channel, has a 47% market share. But this is just the start of our journey, as we plan to add even more services to entertain and inform our ever-growing audience. Thanks for being part of the TVC communications story.
Thanks for staying with us. So there's this tweet we found on social media that has been generating a lot of heat, and we decided to take it. This tweet was made by Prince Olumuyiwa Adejobi, who's apparently a police officer. And he says, "I was driving today in Abuja, and one road safety officer who wanted to arrest me for using a phone heard me instructing the DPO to put one person in the cell. He saluted me and passed me. This is to say, to every rule, there must be an exception to save some situations." And he puts laugh out loud. What are your thoughts on this? You can join the conversation on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948. So Nigerians are really upset about this tweet, saying that we have our government, we have our leaders make certain rules and regulations, and then they do not follow through. But they can harass individuals and, you know, regular people who somehow disobey the same rules that we see them disobey clearly. Everybody's talking about, they say some people are being arrested for taking one way, but then they see police vans, they see the army all taking the same one way that they're talking about. When we make these rules, are they supposed to be exceptions, and how do we handle these exceptions? What are your thoughts, ladies?
Okay, so the Prince Olumuyiwa Adejobi is the PRO of the police force. He speaks on behalf of the IG, sometimes on behalf of the institution, and always more. Yes, there are exceptions to every rule, but it has to be in issues of security and emergency. He tweeted to let us know that this wasn't any emergency. He found it funny.
Laugh out loud.
For someone I haven't met and I've always respected, because there's been consequences of police officers' abuse under his watch, which he has also informed us of. And this just suddenly just flattened the high level I was putting in for me. He tweeted and he found it funny, and this was no emergency. I've always thought that this issue of no phone calls while driving should be reviewed. I drive with my earpiece on. Some people have Bluetooth speakers. You know, you can have a chat. For long while I was on this show, I need a phone call to keep my eyes open when I'm driving back home. Sometimes driving to work because of the distance. And I get stopped. Once I was with my mom on the phone, my earphones were in my ear. A federal road safety officer stopped me. Asked if I was on the call. I could have said no. I could have said I was listening to music. I said yes. He packed me, put me over, and I paid the fine.
Wow.
And I kept saying, but I didn't have my phones in my hand. Sometimes I have my phones in my hijab, and it would be an issue that why do you have your phones in your ear? Once I was stopped for being on the map and driving, and he said, I said, I'm on the map, I'm trying to follow, I don't know this area well. I was parked
Wow.
by a police officer. So I don't see the emergency in this. And for someone who's been parked too many times, I don't see the emergency in his tweet. I expect him, as the image maker of that institution, to be more responsible. He can be in the line of his duty and say that I was parked and taking a call. He said, I was saying, put somebody in the cell. This could be serious. It could also be a joke that I was on the phone and somebody just parked me. Because of where I am, I just say, Dibio, put him in the cell. And you know.
But the cell could be an emergency.
This is too, for someone in the PR business, for someone who is in the image making business, this is just too wrong. All shades of it for me. And I don't expect this to go without, of course, the backlash that he got on Twitter, but I expect it even more as a person. I expect him to apologize for this. He should know that he has done something wrong for the same things that he has called out for, and should not just wipe this under the carpet as it has speech. That's my own.
So because Nima has just addressed, the obvious, which is, it just comes across as being irresponsible, especially because he ended it with LOL. So it made, like it was something that was, not that serious. But if he had not put the LOL, I may have taken it to mean that he was just trying to talk about situations where it requires that there should be exception to the rule. Because he says this is to say to every rule there must be an exception to save some situations. If he had said that, then my question would be, what situation was he trying to save? What situation needed him to be on the phone, at that while driving to save? But when he put that LOL, like, but since you've dealt with that, let's also talk about situations that need to be saved, because I think the police on the road need more than anyone the training that they are on what situation, those situations that are exception and that need to things that need to be done, that need to be saved. What am I saying? Anyways,
emergency situations, basically.
So I'm saying that there have been situations where I feel that the police would have handled it better. This road safety officer that stopped him thought he was in an emergency and handled it differently. I have seen police officers, no matter what you explain to them,
you will park.
This is an emergency. That child is in the back of the car in pain. I'm rushing, you're going to school. They don't want to hear.
You will park.
There's a tanker that has just fallen over there. This is another way where we can all pass, or else all of us will be in traffic during rush hour. Oh, I would like to have seen a police officer try and, direct traffic. They don't understand those situations. So if he's talking about situations that will save something, I think he should have used this to explain that. He made it seem like he was just talking about, being more powerful than a road safety officer. The road safety officer did his part, because I know that it's not just about being on the road. Even like maybe entering buses, people who are in uniform usually are given some sort of respect. Yes. And those are situations that are different. And that's what I would like to see our police officers do. Especially, too, as Nima said, this particular PRO seemed to have been the front face when it comes to those who have misbehaved and how they have been, taken out of the service because of misbehavior. So I do not expect that is what he meant, that I've gotten away with a misbehavior. I'm hoping that it means I'm trying to teach it about situations that require exceptions.
Why are you teaching
to the
it on
rule.
Twitter? That would be my question.
Well, because that's where everybody is these
everybody's
days.
not on Twitter.
But I don't think he's even tweeting to teach us.
Exactly.
He's
That's why I'm
tweeting to laugh, because if you, who are his students?
Exactly.
Not security officers.
So why
you're
are you
saying to
teaching
the
me?
road safety that just beat you guys at your job. The road safety, their business is to ensure that you have a valid license. Their business is to ensure that your car is roadworthy, that all your lights are working and all of that. And you're saying, they just flagged me down. And I just use one.
I just use my power.
So, some people say, Aspirin they call. All sorts of Nigerians have plenty, And we see the abuses. When they do one way, I live on the Badagry Expressway and the military. Whenever we're in traffic, when you hear the pararara coming, it's military doing one way. And you see the flag, so it's a very high commandant or the officer that they're escorting all the way to VI, maybe to Dodan Barracks, and you see them blowing it up on no matter the traffic. All other enforcers, LASMA, or everybody will just turn a blind eye. When it's an emergency, they must, because usually they have a bike ahead, somebody must be telling people, the other agencies, that this is an emergency. Not that our big man cannot be in that tanker traffic, that I have to sit for 3 hours to
not
get
a
here.
Big girl now.
Never big. So me too, all I'll be aspiring is, can I be a big man? So me too, I can do the same. That's how we start this tradition, this culture of abuse of law.
Do you know that back in the day, people buy siren and put in their cars so that they can pass without being stopped? I don't know if it's still working now.
It works.
It still works now.
People buy, there was a time during the military, Koboko. And so some of my uncles, I'll say, oh, why they have Koboko? I go beat anybody, I will let them since I be military, you know. They'll put it in their cars, and I just could not comprehend it.
I would never.
I just could not. And you know, they will continue like that. Some people will go and get a military. There's this
sticker.
No, there's this like a flag. I don't know what.
Okay, yeah.
That they hang on the
car,
mirror in
the dashboard area.
So think that they
Esprit de corps.
Esprit de corps.
Let me tell you this Esprit de corps story.
Tell us.
I had this driver, silly man. He was being stopped. Instead of him to stop, he, tried to he tried to escape. Anyway, they stopped him. Even me, I was in the car. I was like, "What's happening here?" They were immediately the king was like, "Esprit de corps, Esprit de corps." The way they ID him, Esprit de corps. Let me see your ID card. You guys don't have ID card.
Whoa.
Next thing he said, "I'm in the media." They say, "Which media? Let me see your ID card." Media ID card said he does not have. I'm like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
He said he normally says it and he gets away with it.
Wow. That day, his scope was full.
They were really upset that he just drove away. So the thing is, if this message is not about teaching situations that are inevitable and you have to sort of break the law, then it was irresponsible. And it's irresponsible not only because, it happened to you and you went to your house quietly, you decided to broadcast it.
Yes.
And so what are you telling everyone else that's
can go ahead and
that we can go ahead? Calling. And then we even hear, because at first, to tell you the truth, I did not know it was a police officer that tweeted it. So I thought it was someone saying, I picked up my phone and I said, when the traffic officer heard what I was saying, let's go. So some people are going to try that. Some people are going to say, okay, so these are the words to use. I know people that put that thing you say, I know people that specifically go and get it or buy it to put in their cars just so that police officers don't stop them. We need to find a better way to address it. I'm hoping and I believe that the PRO is going to retweet something or say something to explain this
is better. Not acceptable. We're not taking it from him. Let's take this call. Johnson from Abuja. Good morning, Johnson.
Yeah, good morning. Hello, good morning.
We can hear you. You're live.
Okay, yeah. I'm the first caller. My name is Johnson.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm actually I enjoy every bit of your discussion.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And I'm happy for what you are doing.
Thank you.
Okay, concerning the topic you are dealing on now, which is a police officer being proud of escaping sanction, I want to make it very clear that in this our great country, the people that are causing the challenges we have are the law enforcement agents. Whenever you see any issue that is not working well in this country, it is either those that are placed in the position to regulate or to take care of those things. They are the ones that usually go against those things and destroy what we have agreed to actually regulate or to put in order. So please, let us find a way to talk to those in authority, the people that call themselves the leaders. They are the ones that are actually watching this thing going wrong. If it's possible, let's set up a commission to take care of those law enforcement agents. If you go to EFCC, it is the same the EFCC that go to people that they are supposed to prosecute, and maybe, somehow they will compromise their position. Yes. You go to police, the police will compromise position to allow those people that they are supposed to, to take care of, to either put them behind bar or to prosecute. So the same thing, you go to almost all the law enforcement agents, So it's going to be, I think the leaders should find a way around, be it to set up a commission against all these law enforcement agents. They are the problem we have in this society.
Thank you, Johnson.
Prince Olumuyiwa Adejobi is the police first public relations officer. I'm on his page right now, and I'm seeing his response. He's retweeting questions about this tweet and responding. And he says that this was a test as to fake news. I hope he's managing this well. He's saying that it has never happened before, that he tweeted this to see how people will question fake news. And that the Federal Road Safety closed at 6 p.m., sometimes 7 p.m. And he says that in the evening, that he tweeted that he was driving in the evening. Nobody questioned the time and whether road safety will be outside. He said it has never happened before someone got the cruise. Don't castigate me for this. It's simple logic. When the road safety officers close, we need to reason fast when we see messages.
Okay, so can I even call?
Yes. Now, write-ups before reacting. This is how many of you spread fake news. I won't catch plenty. I beg, just give me time.
Please, I'm seeing loopholes, but
let's see how people reason. Road safety officers don't work beyond 6 p.m. Okay. And then he says, whenever he's driving, there's one he said, it did not even happen because I don't drive myself while on duty, except off duty. And road safety officers don't operate at 6 p.m., max 7 p.m. I only tested the strength of fake news. You can see how it's spreading fast like a hammerton. This is because people were tweeting and calling him out. He said it has never happened. He talked about
let's move on.
Him moving with his security and while he's driving alone.
Let's move on from his response. Because sometimes when this sort of thing happens, anybody around you should take away your phone. In responding, you will dig more holes for yourself and you'll fall in. It's not your job to test fake news. People can call him up on that. He has a job to protect the lives and image people.
No,
and the image of the police. So it's not your job to test fake news. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. And also, I do not even think that Nigerians don't understand that there are exceptions for every rule. We understand that. One of the reasons everybody is getting upset is the fact that we observe the abuse that goes on. It's the abuse. If Nigeria was the way Nigeria was when I was growing up, that we didn't have this much abuse, and once in a while you see a police taking one way and all that, you won't raise an eyebrow because you understand that something is happening. And how do they pass information when something is happening for people to understand that they are supposed to be doing this now in cases of emergency? It's the abuse that Nigerians are worried about. And what this tweet, if you ask me, has just done is the fact that anybody can just feel I can get a police uniform and act like a policeman and get away scot-free. And we have a lot of people who are doing that right now. So this tweet should not come from him. He should stop responding, if you ask me. Let's take a final word so we can go.
Okay, my final word in simple layman English and straight language, I'll say, Prince, face your work. Your work is strictly the image of the police.
Of the police, face
and you have done amazingly well up until this tweet. Personal opinion. I have started following him on Twitter. I have loved reading information from him about all the police abuses. In fact, all the sack and derobing of the police officers I saw on his page, I started to respect him. This tweet you didn't have to do in the first place because it was out of your job. You are not a fake news tester. You don't work with the Ministry of Information under the Minister for Information. That is not your concern. And then in responding to everybody who tweeted at you, there was some sort of ego. I hope that you gain the respect you have earned as your office back, and please do the right thing.
And
stop
Nigerians are not
tweeting
smiling
on this, please.
Miriam, your final thoughts.
She has said it all.
Okay, Naira has said it all. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. That's all we can take for your view today. We'll come your way again tomorrow. Stay with us. Bye-bye now.